The new season of Supercars is almost upon us, and despite every second headline being about the new Gen 3 machinery, today I wanted to take a closer look at the new cars and discuss some of the design elements that have really piqued my interest and perhaps even features and innovations in the new vehicles that you may have missed. Now, the majority of the details I will discuss in today's video I think are actually really positive for Supercars, but the last one we're going to talk about does have me and quite a few other fans a little bit perplexed, so do stick around to the end because I'd definitely like to hear your thoughts on that last item. Okay, so detail number one is the fact Gen 3 are going to have heated windshields. Now, I learned about this cool little design quirk during one of Brad Jones Racing's sort of Gen 3 build videos. They've done a fantastic series that really showcases how Gen 3 differs from supercars of the past. And this heated windshield initiative should really help with a bit of a problem supercars have had in recent years, where the windshields can fog up quite badly in bad weather, reducing visibility for the drivers. The teams have been using an anti-fog solution for some time, but it sounds like its effectiveness is pretty hit and miss, as we've seen on many occasions. So in Gen 3, there's a really cleverly sort of integrated metal strip just below the banner on the front windshield of the car that's designed to heat the entire screen and hopefully reduce some of those visibility issues. I guess we're going to have to wait until the first really wet and cold round to see how this tech performs, but even if it's only partially effective, surely it has got to be better than the squeegee solutions we saw in 2017. Detail number two is greater adjustability for the driver ergonomics. Now, this is once again sort of coming from the BJR series. I promise you item number 3 isn't featured in one of their videos, but this is a really interesting one that sees the steering column in the Gen 3 cars and the pedals adjustable and movable to help get a better and more comfortable position for each driver. Now, it looks like the steering column still requires a fair amount of tinkering for it to be adjusted, so we're not exactly going to be seeing that changed on the fly, but the flexibility is good nevertheless. The thing that was really cool to see is the adjustable pedals. Now, these work with a sort of sliding mechanism very similar to what you see on the seats of a road-going car, where the pedals can be slid back and forth with relative ease, and it looks so easy to move that I'm actually wondering if any teams are going to risk adjusting this in a live pit stop at the Enduro rounds at Sandown and Bathurst. If you've got a really tall driver and a really short co-driver or vice versa, it may be tempting to adjust the pedal position in the driver swap, but it does seem really risky compared to your usual seat insert that they've been using for so many years. So I'm suspecting the adjustable pedals are mainly going to be for fine-tuning the ergonomics of the car before a race begins. Either way, it sounds like the adjustable steering column and pedal set is going to make driver comfort a lot easier to achieve. The third detail I want to discuss is the roof hatch, a very cool safety feature on the Gen 3 cars that I initially thought was actually meant to serve as an escape route for the driver if the car was on its side or the doors wouldn't open for whatever reason, but it actually turns out it's not meant to be for the driver to exit through. It's actually more for the medical staff to work on the driver if they're injured in the car. Obviously, the more angles you can give medical staff, the better, but I do wonder, and I should stress this is speculation and thinking aloud on my part, if this roof hatch is actually being inspired by the fact there's less clearance in Gen 3 between the driver's helmet and the top of the roll cage. And I wonder if there was a concern that if a driver was injured, potentially with a neck or back injury, that it would have been difficult to get their helmet off without risking further damage. With the roof hatch, I imagine they should be able to remove that helmet without too much concern of having the driver sort of lean forward or anything like that, and perhaps make it a little bit safer to extract them. Now, let's finish up talking about the confusing change in Gen 3, and that's the location of the air spike. Now, if you're new to supercars, they use a bit of compressed air when a car comes into the pit stop to lower the jacks and raise the car up so the tires can be changed. And in previous supercars, this has largely been located sort of on the side windows of the vehicle, a very sort of safe and protected part of the car. But in Gen 3, it's actually going to be located down by the front wheels, a area of the vehicle that is far more prone to damage, whether that be through contact with other cars or even tyre bundles at street circuits like Adelaide. And it's that increased risk of damage that has me scratching my head on this one. If there is bodywork that's dislodged, I wonder if it's going to cause issues for teams trying to get that air spike in. Nothing that a hacksaw and a hammer shouldn't be able to solve, but I'm sure it's going to cause a few problems at some point in the season. And once again, I'd love to learn more about the benefits of this new location, because there must be some reason why it has been moved to where it is. So they are some of the Gen 3 details you may have missed. I think it's important to stress that we don't know the full ins and outs of these cars just yet at this point in the year, so I have needed to speculate a little bit. I have asked a lot of open-ended questions, and there may be some things I've got wrong in this video as well. I'm not here to prove that I know these things inside out. I'm here to have a discussion about the sport we love. So if you can fill in any of the blanks that may have been sort of brought up in this video, I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. Let me know what you think the pros and cons might be of some of these new design elements. And remember, when the season begins, I will be doing round previews, reviews, and loads of discussion videos in between.